Good morning, degenerates, and welcome to another episode of Boring Crypto IO, a place where I read you the boring crypto news every morning, Monday through Friday, just so you don't have to. My name is Not Important, and I'm your host. Guys, smash the like button, turn the bell for notifications, and subscribe to the channel. I apologize. I've been gone for quite a while, 4 days, something like that, 3 days. Guys, I cut my mouth. The inside of my, this is a little, maybe too much information, but I cut the inside of my mouth pretty bad. It was kind of hard to talk. Every time I try and start a show, I just couldn't get through it. So unfortunately, life happens. We're gonna try and get through today's show, see how I do. But it's not 100% healed. It's still jacked up. And to be completely honest, it hurts like fucking hell. So it's hard to do this stuff. But we got some news. We're gonna try and get through today. But yeah, let's get boring. China stocks crash 8% in hours. 5 things to know in Bitcoin this week. Spanish Treasury to seize crypto to pay tax debts. And El Salvador initial polls show Nayib Bukele. I have no idea how you pronounce that. That's how I would pronounce that. To win re-election. Guys, let's go to the market. Current market cap right now sitting at 1.65 trillion. Not much has changed since the last time I talked to you. Pretty much moving sideways. And we're going to look at that here shortly. Current Bitcoin dominance sitting at 51.1%, ticking up. ETH dominance 16.9, 20 Guayo gets ETH transaction. Fear and greed still pretty much neutral, sitting at 55. Let's just go through the top 100. Bitcoin really hasn't done much of anything except for move sideways since I talked to you last. I mean, look at this. It's starting to round down a little bit and then bounced. Like, this is what it's done since the last time I talked to you guys. It's almost a straight line. So yeah, let's go through the top 100. I'm a little out of practice, clearly. Let's go through the top 100, see what the outliers are, and then get on to the charts. Chainlink 7.41 to the upside. TIA up 6%. Render down 8.46%. Flare up 8.28% on the day. Ronin, RON down 9.2%. FXS up 6.27%. CFX down 7.2%. Terra Luna Classic. Or Terra Classic. I don't know how many spinoffs of this there are. Up 9.85% on the day. Wow. Rippy McRipperton. Look at that. And Pancake Swap. Bringing in the top 100. Very good, guys. That's your top 100. Those are the outliers. Let's go on to the charts. Bitcoin 4 hour. This is sideways movement, y'all. This is a rough trend line that I've been looking at. Potential either wedge or symmetrical triangle. I literally drew this last night. I was looking at it going, okay, what is going on with this thing? So this is rough, but we're definitely trending up. We were right about here last night when I went to bed. Looked like we were going to break down, but it got bought up really quick, held the trend. And 2 potential things are going on right here, right? You're either bouncing off the bottom of this trend line or you're bouncing off this 42.516, turning it back into support, which it's been support, it's been resistance, it's been support, it's been resistance. Support, resistance, support. A little bit of resistance, we broke out of it. Anyway, it's been an important level for quite a while now. Anyways, we bounced and we hit the top of the trend line. It looks like we're kind of breaking out right now. Again, this is the 4 hour. Do I think this will hold? I don't know. It's Monday. This could rip all the way up to 44.255 potentially, or the top of the triangle here. Today, it could rip somewhere like up in here. Just something to see. But if it breaks out, we'll keep our eye on it. But again, this is a 4 hour. Let's go down to the lower time frame. Let's go down 3, 2, 1 or 7. So our 7's riding it. If you're watching the 7 broke out, bullish retest, and is bouncing now. That actually looks real good. So I'll use the 7. Keep an eye on what we got going on here. Clearly, we have a new uptrend on the 7. This is what's so beautiful about the 7, man. If you're playing swings for leverage trading, dude, this 7-minute double bottom, bear trap, and a rip. %. 20x leverage, man. You make 40%. That's what's up. I don't know. I don't do that shit, but it's an idea. Sam Price, man. Shout out to Sam Price, Crypto Lifer. The dude can swing trade. Anyways, I'm going to keep my eye on this, see if it breaks out, guys. Again, I'm not in any open trades right now. I am strictly in hodl bags and spot right now. Just trying to keep you guys updated on what I'm seeing. Outside of that, man, there's really nothing going on, y'all. This is all sideways action. All of this. And I know it might seem dramatic, especially because of this big bull trap, potential bear trap down here. But this, for months, has just been sideways movement. Which I told you a while ago. I was like, there's a potential after the ETF announcement, which is what this nonsense was up here. After all that, there's a big, because there's no other catalyst coming. Unless there's a black swan event, or what's the opposite of a negative swan event? A green swan event? I don't know. Unless there's some crazy event, there's not a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline that's going to get the price to move, except for the halving, right? And that's not happened for a few months. So I think I said it last week and the week before. There's a strong potential that we just might be boring till right after the halving. We might even get a dump right before the halving, which is usually pretty common. So just be ready for that, guys. Outside of that, that's what I'm looking at Bitcoin. Nothing has changed, guys. We have been sideways. Levels are all still the same. I'm watching many time frames inside of this sideways movement for potential moves, things like that, etc., etc. Outside of that, let's get on the news, get you out of here so you can go enjoy your day. China stocks crashed 8% in 5 hours. 5 things to know in Bitcoin this week. Bitcoin price circles 43,000 as Chinese stocks are halted for volatility in a wild start to the macro week. I think I heard something that you're not even allowed to short this. China is not letting people short their market as it tanks. I don't know. We'll find out. Bitcoin begins its first full week of February with an escape from a break down below 42,000. BTC price action remains in a sticky range, one of which saw January gains capped at just 0.6%. What might be next for the market? Still battling the low to mid 40,000 area. Bitcoin bulls so far lack genuine momentum required to overcome sell pressure and challenge range highs. The road ahead looks increasingly bumpy. The halving is around 2.5 months away, and perspectives on how price will react both before and after differ considerably. Some believe a major change is coming, and that Bitcoin might not only smash its way through local resistance, but even set a new all-time high before mid-April. That is a hard ask for me. Look, I love me some bullish hopium, but that's really reaching, guys. I wouldn't bet on this. I hope I'm wrong, right? I hope I do. I'm wrong. But I would love to see it just completely just rip and melt faces. But that's a hard ask. Other takers call for business as usual. That's kind of where I'm in, or the position I'm in. No significant price action until months after the halving takes place. In the background, macroeconomic risks continue to fester this week, joined by fresh turmoil in Chinese equities markets. With United States data surpassing markets last week, there are thus questions over how the Federal Reserve's economic policy might evolve, especially when it comes to the timing of interest rate cuts. Yeah, we are definitely not getting them in March like we expected. People are saying potentially May at this point. A key issue for crypto and risk assets. Cointelegraph takes a closer look at these topics and more in the weekly rundown of what to look out for when it comes to BTC USD. Where's the China stuff? Is this a China article? This is more about Bitcoin. Sorry, I was hoping you get more news about the market tanking in China. BTC price indicators forewarn of volatility around 42,550. Bitstamp, Bitcoin's latest weekly close, was its second highest of 2024. They say that like we're 6 months into the year or something. It's literally February 5th. Yeah. Anyway, what followed was familiar behavior. Bitcoin and USD sought to sell off, this time offering two retests of 42.2 before rebounding around $600 higher at the time of writing, per data Cointelegraph, Markets Pro, and TradingView. Bid liquidity thus preserved the current zone of interest within a wider range that Bitcoin has acted in for more than 150 days. Sideways action, guys. It is boring as shit. Yeah. In his latest spot market analysis, popular trader Skew noted that it was a limit bidder protecting overnight price action from further downside. Conjuring memories of mid-January in the aftermath of the come down from 2-year highs above 49K, he additionally flagged 43.1 as a key level to overcome. So what I'm looking at for today is if price continues to hold 1 hour, 4 hour trends, and if buyers sustain a move above 43.1K diagonal downtrend line. Part of another post on X, formerly Twitter, he explained an accompanying chart contained features including both simple and exponential moving averages on the 4 hour chart, as well as the sloping resistance line. This is what I just showed you guys. Good. We are in agreement. Which we're kind of breaking out of right now. This is right when I drew my triangle. This is actually funny. Remember I told you guys I drew my triangle right this second to last candle. Coming up from here with the sloping down trend line on the 4 hour. Elsewhere, both the relative strength index and Bollinger Bands began to give signs that volatility may return. On weekly time frames, RSI has retests to lower levels, while spot price has consolidated, as noted by analyst Matthew Hyland at the weekend. Currently, weekly RSI stands at 68.9, just below the key 70 level, which often accompanies major episodes of price upside. Sideways price action, downward RSI momentum. Got it. Right here. Sweet. Right here. I mean, smaller time frame. I mean, smaller price action. So you're probably going to get a smaller move. Maybe up to 48 again. Maybe. The 3-day Bollinger Band chart, meanwhile, shows a considerable squeeze underway, with the bands tighter than at any point since the end of October, Hyland reveals. As Cointelegraph often reports, periods of tighter bands suggest that price expansion is to follow, but is not immediately clear in which direction. Tight. Tight down. Tight up. Tight up. This is what they're trying to show you guys. So if you're watching the Bollinger Bands, as soon as it squeezes, pop. Squeeze, small downside. Squeeze again, pop up. Jesus. Yeah, guys, I picked this because I wanted to hear what was going on in China. This is just a lot of just Bitcoin TA shit. Okay, finally talking about China. All right, let's read this real quick, and then we'll move on to the next articles. China vows to step in as stocks halted beyond Bitcoin. That's kind of why I picked this article. I gotta find another news source. If you guys know of any that are better than, I'm sure there's plenty that are better than Cointelegraph. Let me say it this way: that are better and more convenient than Cointelegraph. Guys, let me know in comments down below. China vows to step in, stocks halted beyond Bitcoin. What was chalked up to be a relatively quiet macroeconomic data week already has the potential to surprise. This time, it is China at the helm of volatility as equities hit 5-year lows and the CSI 1000 index crashed 8%, halting trading for 30% of stocks. Don't you just love when the market's tanking, your governments can step in and go, no, we got to stop trading. I'm sorry. What? Right. The drama follows liquidity injections from Beijing and the bankruptcy of China's second largest property giant by sales, Evergrande. Or Evergrande? I don't know. In a statement issued February 4th, quoted by Reuters, the China Securities Regulatory Commission, or CSRC, said that it would steady expectations and confidence and admittedly ward off abnormal market fluctuations. If that's what they're doing by stepping in, it's funny that they can step in and go, we're going to steady expectations and confidence by not letting people trade. That doesn't give me any confidence at all. The CSI 1000 year-to-date losses stood at nearly 27%. At the time of writing, China's equity markets seem to be China's equity markets seem to finally be joining their collapsing real estate market. Trading resources, the Kobayashi letter wrote in part of a reaction. China's HY real estate index is down over 85%. Time to go buy some real estate in China. Let's go. From its high just 2 years ago, the question becomes, is this crisis contained? Falling fucking off a cliff. This set the scene for a highly anticipated Wall Street Open coming at a time of guessing game over how the U.S. will conduct a pivot in quantitative tightening. As Cointelegraph reported, bets on the Fed lowering rates at its March meeting decreased after last week's non-farm payrolls data vastly beat expectations. This week will add unemployment figures to the mix. At the same time, concerns of regional banking sector health persists when it comes to the impact on Bitcoin and crypto. Arthur Hayes, former CEO of exchange BitMEX, sees an initial capitulation in March, followed by a dramatic Bitcoin price recovery. His downside Bitcoin price target sits at 30. Ooh, that's deep. I'll never say it's not possible, but I'm not sure. All right, I'm done with this article. That's enough. Enough TA in other countries. I was hoping to read more stuff about China, but I guess not. All right, moving on. Spanish Treasury to seize crypto to pay tax debts. Spanish Ministry of Finance has announced tax reforms that will give financial organizations the power to collect taxes on behalf of the government. That's terrifying. This is what we're trying to move. This is what the world's trying to move to, guys. Look, this is conspiracy theory time. Here we go. Government control of finances is being threatened by crypto, period. 100%. The old way of controlling us through our money, well, let me say it this way. The old way of controlling us through our money but making it look like they're not controlling us through our money are dying because of crypto. And they are going to implement all sorts of rules and regulations and bring in all sorts of people that look. And what I'm saying by bringing in people, so when a bunch of like gun stuff, I used to live in California, when a bunch of stuff that was cracking down on like taking guns from people, from upstanding citizens, from people that just want to protect their family, there was talk about literally enforcement agencies being given the right to come just show up at your house and take your firearms from you. There was talks of legislation and laws coming down the pipeline that could potentially do that. And I remember talking to my dad, and I asked him, I was like, well, what, like, a cop has got to be like pro 2A, right? What cop would show up at your door and force you to give over your like what cop would stand for that? If I was a cop, or if I was a policeman, I'd be like, no, I'm good. Here's my badge. I'm out. And his answer was, they won't use regular cops. They'll get together a bunch of people that want to just side with the government to save their own asses, B, are broke and willing to do whatever it takes to make a paycheck, or C, people that believe this nonsense that the government is always right, etc., etc. And they'll basically build a group of people that will enforce these laws. This is what I think you're seeing right now. There's all sorts of weird laws coming that they're trying to push through in the United States, as well as, I'm not even in this article, and I got a feeling that this first sentence right here, the Spanish Ministry of Finance has announced tax reforms that will give financial organizations, so your banks, your fucking bank, the power to collect taxes on behalf of the government. Now, I don't know about the Spanish, in wherever the Spanish Treasury is at, but I know in the United States, when you file your taxes, they don't really know what's right and what's wrong. All they know is what numbers you submit to them, and if you don't do that math correctly, they'll send you a notice saying you didn't do this right. Okay? But you're telling me that you're giving the right to the bank to see my inflows and outflows of my money and make a decision on my taxes and just take my money from me and hand it over to the government. They are terrified. They are terrified of what crypto is doing. They're terrified of losing their control, and they're going to implement any laws and grab any people they're willing to help them enforce these laws to make this shit happen, and that's what it sounds like is happening. This is terrifying to me. And if you think for a second this shit can't happen in the United States, you are sadly mistaken. Anyway, with that, plenty of rambling, let's go ahead and move on with the article. The Spanish Ministry of Finance is looking to expand its control over the monitoring of cryptocurrencies in the country. Try not to sneeze, guys. To allow it to seize digital assets to settle tax debts. Terrifying. The ministry, led by Maria Jesus Montero, is developing legislative reforms to the general tax law, specifically Article 162, to allow the Spanish tax agency to identify and seize crypto assets owned by taxpayers who have overdue debts, according to the reports. The royal decree, which came into force on February 1st, expands the number of entities to be given tax collection powers. Until now, only banks, saving banks, and credit cooperatives could report to the Treasury. The Treasury is also planning to fight tax evasion more aggressively. It is looking to force banks and electronic money institutions to report on all card transactions. Again, guys, this is happening worldwide right now. The government wants to know exactly how you spend your money so they can tax you on everything. They don't want you to have anonymity. They don't want you to be anonymous on how you spend your money. They want to know, just so they can get their cut. The speed at which the changes are being implemented poses some challenges on the regulatory front. The country is trying to move proactively with various regulations to govern crypto. In October of 2023, Spanish Ministry of Economy and Digital Transformation reported that the first comprehensive European Union crypto framework, the Market in Crypto Assets Regulation, MICA, will come into force nationally in December of 2025, 6 months before the official deadline. This is the other thing that kind of scares me about this, right? So if you're buying crypto, you're usually not using it. The majority of us are not using it as a transactional currency. We're buying it and sitting on it and hoping that it goes up in price to eventually sell for a profit. So, if I owe taxes, why are you going after my appreciating assets? Why not tax me when I collect profit? It's very intriguing. Think about it this way. there are not taxes on trading currency. And by I don't mean like trading derivatives of currency. I mean trading currency. If I brought $10,000 to Europe right now and traded that USD for European money, wherever I'm at in Europe, doesn't matter. The euro, whatever. I can't be taxed on that because it's I forget why. I forget the terminology or what the actual reason behind it is, but it's money, and you need to transfer it. You need to swap it for euros because it's easier. It helps you with whatever, even though there might be a profit on the exchange rate or even a loss. They don't tax that because it's currency, and they're trying to bring down these laws in crypto as if it's like capital gain shit, man. It doesn't make sense. Anyways, I'm rambling so much, guys. I'm sorry. I hope that made sense. Pretty sure it didn't. Spanish residents holding any crypto assets on non-Spanish platforms have until the end of next month to declare them to the tax authorities. Or what? The submission period for a Form 721 declaration started on January 1st, 2024 and ends on the last day of March. Individual and corporate taxpayers must declare the amount of funds stored in crypto accounts abroad as of December 31st, 2023. However, only individuals with a balance sheet exceeding the equivalent of 50,000 euros, around $54,000, in crypto assets are obliged to declare their foreign holdings. Those who store their assets in self-custody wallets must report their holdings through the standard wealth tax form. So, fuck you. Sorry. Fuck you. This is guys, this is a war about money and governments losing their control of your money. They're scared. My question is how do you enforce it? If I've got all my shit on a cold storage, a hot wallet, whatever, how do you enforce it? I'm curious. It's almost like it's Gestapo fear shit. Unless the wallets themselves start reporting, which I'm sure if they do, we will all go try and find another outlet, I'm sure another company will pop up that allows us to, whatever, another wallet. All right, last but not least, El Salvador initial polls show Nayib Bukele to win re-election. Exit poll data shows Nayib Bukele's Nuevas ideas partly securing 87% of the votes, with official numbers expected shortly. The pro-Bitcoin Salvadoran president Nayib Bukele is widely expected to win a second term in office, with early voting data indicating his party will win 87%. I'm sorry, guys, 87% of the votes through the final results. Though the final results are yet to be released. Official results as of February 5th at 5:30 a.m. UTC from the country's electoral authority, the Supreme Electoral Tribunal, the TSE. Show Bukele Nueva's new Ideas Party has a commanding lead over 1.1 million votes, with 31.5% of the vote counted. New Ideas is closing in on 1.3 million votes, followed by just over 110,000 for Farabundo Marti National Liberation Front. Jesus, it's a mouthful. FMLN candidate Manuel Flores, while nearly 97,000 votes have gone to the Nationalist Republican Alliance. Arena candidate Joel Sanchez. Earlier, CID Gallup reported exit polls showed Bukele's party received 87% of the votes, with Flores and Sanchez taking 7% and 4% respectively. If Bukele maintains the lead, he will be sworn in as president for a new 5-year term and serve until 2029. I think he's going to win. In an ex post, Bukele proclaimed victory before any official results were announced. He said internal party data shows he had won the election with more than 85% of the votes, and at least 58 of 60 deputies in Legislative Assembly of El Salvador. A spokesperson for the country's national Bitcoin office told Cointelegraph that it expects an average high proportion of votes going to Bukele once the official results are out. Bukele made Bitcoin legal tender in El Salvador in September 2021, among other initiatives supporting the cryptocurrency. On February 1st, Vice President Felix Yola reportedly confirmed Bukele's Bitcoin strategy wouldn't change if he is reelected. The Salvadorian president is also known for his crackdown on gang crime. In 2023, Amnesty International criticized Bukele's leadership for an alarming regression into protection of human rights, which risks replacing gang violence with state violence. Bukele's campaign for a second term has also been met with controversy. Several critics, such as Salvadorian lawyer Alfonso Fajardo, have argued the country's constitution prohibits Bukele from seeking a second consecutive term. Today is a good day to remember that immediate presidential reelection is prohibited up to 7 times by the Constitution. Fajardo said when the news broke that Bukele filed paperwork to run again in October. El Salvador has been touted as potentially becoming the Singapore of the Americas by VanEck strategy advisor Gabor Gerbax, Mr. GG, who expects more investment capital and immigration to flow into the country in the coming years. Got it. All right, guys, let's look at Bitcoin one last time. Potentially a bounce. I don't know. That line isn't even. Let's tighten this up a little bit. I mean, yeah, it's a breakout. If you tighten it up on the 4 hour, that's a breakout. Let's see what it does. I mean, it's a squeeze, so it's gonna go up or down, and it definitely needs to make a decision. 7 minutes says. 7 minutes says we are out of the pattern. It might just go sideways still, though, guys. I don't know. I'm not feeling very bullish about this being a breakout. I don't see any momentum. You know what? I'll tell you what. It is still early. Let's see what happens in the traditional markets. See what the price action does when the traditional markets open up. But I think I see a potential squeeze coming. Upside or downside, I don't know. But price needs to make a decision. It is way too tight. Way too tight. Yeah. All right, guys. Just thank you. That's all I've got for you this morning. If you do enjoy the content I provide for you here every morning on Boring Crypto IO, please, by all means, guys, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell for notifications so you know when I do post videos. Guys, please watch the videos. Please share the videos on all your social platforms. And above all, if there's anything you can do to help spread the adoption of crypto and help grow the channel, please, 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 like the videos. It's freezy peasy, lemon squeezy, and I will see you bright and easy tomorrow morning. I am out of here.